second tranche $600 million no eba and I say honsem eteseng answer na mema na kwaba no ma memfa ye WhatsApp number no entudwa ndi bia wo question bi emma no and aso wa adwentra ye number no ye 0548 443 523 0548 443 523 for messages nefa so emayen na ye be kan ya ma 0548 443 523 George akwa bete saying
Pocho menjodo Brenyi beka da me issue give yet kakra me masra one day was a brofun na fantin ba fra kakra nyonti no etefu
ba fantinya
me fantinyi
efehim
me fia posika inyo
aposika wo
gwechi ho ana pe du ntino cold blood no kakra but fantasy no doso
pedu echiri ho
aposika also not aposika no sin pedu but I'm just saying that aposika pedu no nyi cold be pon kakra wom
okay
but it's more of like 70-30
wow na aposika na no we hin
ono we invest echiri ho
UCC Chiron
and Sana Pedu no
West Pedu I know Pedu okay na kwewu kakra nso wo kwewu proben
go be pong
kwewu be pong oh okay that's nice that's nice George we are fit
boss
no we brutal brutal it is here IMF second tranche no ya qualify ya pass ya eba and I said to say
ya qualifies but bronyi beka the conditions be kakra wo team our IMF team our batam when we buy as a being
okay
they are sign the program and or do baba share and yet what's in Washington next document mo on quoting
sure
I do about be engage technical people the Ministry of Finance be a document be data be a claim it there or by revenue raise x amount Opado Bano Nigeria Fukasa sharing document in the Yemen Azina before we put together our staff reporting into a bay, baby should the minion only a staff program review, which is I mean it's a very serious engagement bringing back that sometimes it stretches like a week because there are technical engagements away. And also we be offering the Article 4 consultation. Now more than 100 countries are why sign up to be member of the IMF and IMF has a crowd keep on together in there as an institution.
Yes.
Every country be assess with economy. What are the threats? In the Article 4 consultation, even UK, US, what you want? Fund and the members and the team now put together. What country what are the threats to the economy? So this team over town we are for almost the past 2 weeks where you one your program review and then the Article 4 consultation, which involves engaging those who matter
as
in the Bank of Ghana space and the technical guys. Cross-checking data, engaging the business community, CSOs, and all those things. Indeed, for the past 2 weeks, and we're doing all these things, looking at the data, doing their own auditing, engaging people behind the scenes to ensure that Azar wakade Ghana na economy will move from A to B or no yet the official B one massage number because for those who have been following this program there was a point in time now we sent wrong data to the fund and we were punished heavily.
That's true.
Into the staff visit on yet there obe jiwenya bonum champagne and I be them more babe engage
serious business
1 hour town sometimes it stretches even deep in the night engaging several officials to check the data into we so wakade side of economy or yaza or your base of one assessment away data we hu no nyenkrofa when you want zunkomo we to support work claiming the equal honey equal or ye both Article 4 consultation and assessment of every member and then to review this IMF program no sure there okay I ain't for need do na program me obi bakade it wasn't just about sikana was man or the fact that other reforms na undertake to bring your economy or to stabilize your economy because you do level obia say yenji government in zi about nyama offshore investors or investors who are ban or you sikana azako no so there yenka programming and our development partners one as yenka programming the programming about boy may undertake some reforms and they can undertake them reforms in India to support you in terms of efforts. IMF program, the IMF World Bank also were on board. to give you some money to support in restructuring the economy. And then the other development partners like Germany and then other private investors. The interesting thing about the programming there, IMF over the years, I realized that anytime a program is a country done, when there are problems, and IMF okay. Now what's the full program of
homegrown solution?
Near more stamp of approval. Into this the PCPEG government is submitted. I'm a 4-year correction has been as okay. You both support one. As the one ankasa was there. This is a corner of to stabilize things. Into you're on board as a big brother. To look at what you have to do when it comes to expenditure, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to structural reforms. Energy sector, all those things. How do you ensure that people are paying realistic tariffs so that you don't build up debt over the years and then it comes back to hit you? Internet say so the infinite you say here now. What about your review? Most of the targets are setting more one day or they were passing. And some of them $600 million one pass them targets and there are one or two things be a problem home. And some of them has to do with getting the assurance from external creditors in countries or ban or boy and bossa. Yes, maybe there. Abakwan neighbor for that. See a pede restructure or debt no sir. Or beji or be pinned there, young code this way. And the first no kado. When you back there, we had no objection. Now move to reach an agreement with them that okay, Ghana, you want to bet in form. I restructure this amount of Zikarazi on Coin. Into them assurance if them external creditors and when I was the corner wa bruchini been Germany, UK, China, when I walk from Sika through the Eurobond nazen reach some agreement be with them. And son IMF board and be meet November. No okay staff we work awesome which is a work or your report no was I come aboard the board and one thing from one share as I crack or Ghani as I hunde a ban why ni yana the one ye intents way the mini me yes I'm aboard and board no so back at your day you pay your thing a penny being getting tibia because as a program you all tried obeying in the day how to restructure your debt also intin we Ghana to many them countries your wow barney I reach some agreement to be there you pinned there your new bets new form near Shamos na yeba restructure debts na another corner was the end. Into any them agreement in principle we are for brain. Yanfanka staff report no near to from near kada okay. Based on ABC nyama yentin yeba more $600 million and Monkofun task there on yes alone. What this first review would trigger is the one I know when you went into business in engage a lot of private sector but culture there. Most of our partners were banned. They didn't want to have anything to do with them because they didn't like the way the economy was moving. It's now bringing back there. I'm a fool. They are seeing signs of stability. Yet do the more not okay. War in Libya. Obutu my economy with sipim kakra. Into the Mississippi and now approval obenye. World Bank was work there. Okay, based on Aziz warrior. Most of them on board. I'm a Monsika. Programs CBA was share war budget in Mumbai support. Momo Sika also to help restructure the financial sector. $1 million $300 million to help with banks. They were
apart from the second tranche of 600 million.
World Bank is about almost like $500 million or standard erba. Based on again the more commitments here, you agree there, you have a restructure or reforming the economy, and it's not Sika wasn't more there. The focus of champagne and Chingana.
Also the year Juma.
There's the Juma. Key is that Oboko this $300 million here. Oboko can set up fund that. What's about World Banks or Kroma? ABA debt exchange program and affect on Bali.
Okay.
Amongst the kind of super band that the program, be it under this first or second, is also almost there. There are still issues with all banks and into any reforms be a bayana obey to banks and maybe a bit more do coffee Yamanas and Yemo Sika footy to them Yaminako. As that them review but trigger in the day. Other countries like Germany that have been heavy in supporting the energy sector once was okay, says I agree there, but undertake them reforms here. Obey your economy in year in society on board. It will provide both technical support and additional funding to help the energy sector. So it is not just about the money. The additional things that the Maziba trigger, even private investors now, one more know what's the cover those bay Juma Krumi and what sit on the fence and one so but imagine that lots of these road projects are we are stalling us. These are private firms that they have to reach an agreement with them on how to restructure these things before they will come
into the Sino Hydro project now stalling just they are just lying in wait. Or more trying what government will
do in terms of overreach agreement on how to restructure these debts. And these the countries the one pinned there. They cancel that we free there so bossa day tia into the any from the can okay as in day 25 years because of problems here women in tea neighbor tune over 20 years ebia interest rates neighbor tune ebia na first day 10% because the problem I won't say here and so ebia for down to like 5%. Under the arrangement, because I'm a so boom was set up for be the G20 framework where engage some of these countries there okay. You would the country Ghana will take steps be a world trader. Never again that you would do the money into no. Can you also take steps to cancel their debts, which is also going on in the parallel with all these things? Into the meaning yes, canon cotin as our ober trigger other development partners but because Obi BB today PRC regular quarterly tariffs is something that was agreed long ago. Problem in the political expedience. Why do you pile up these things? And so what this program is trying to do is to force us to do things that are and to subsidize petrol for one more tomato, one more use V8. The subsidy or do one to my establish the
target it well.
One sika and says more, but and subsidized fuel, more bio use V8 and subsidized fuel will be a Tesla gone. Antino BOC is logon with me Sudan bear $3 million. Nensus own property rate. Into the whole idea about taxation, the G1 more one, no for one into what this program is doing. I'm a program
is to get us to do the
things that
we have to do
zeal to do it. And what this fund program here. Abansu said there what PC PEC program I guess why and I'm a phone now I'm on a stamp approval there Kodeye.
Me 1 year a quote attributed to the IMF managing director and the second a Bank of Ghana governor after conclusion of formal meetings with IMF no statement our issue and I'll go through both of them we'll deal with it. This quote where the IMF managing director Kristalina Gogiva.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I say Ghana is doing actually quite well. You have seen that their position has improved over the last month. The economy is in a much better place. I would very much hope that we can have the disbursement of $600 million tranche of the IMF money that's due to be disbursed in November. Is this something you know of? True?
You're true. Okay, or correct or crow. Wabeye BB to the IMF and the World Bank, all the countries that made up this institution.
Yes.
For BB annual meeting.
Okay.
We share. What friend BB to the Ghana back at the AGM and I share this meeting.
Okay.
This time in 1 year Washington DC. Normally they move with our country's bid. Into this time, or Marrakesh or Morocco, or next week Monday to Sunday. Now, before any time there's this annual meeting, for BB curtain raiser speech at end in the year or to country America, the Ivory Coast. The one I won him, I am one the young company, Watara, you know, young senior in World Bank. Into a year, this curtain raiser speech. No, we know the Bloomberg for interview because the issues about Ghana came up. And when I will follow woman, sometimes you want to think that she's just being politically correct, but I have met her, asked her questions off the cuff. And she's been very, very genuine and truthful about Ghana because every other countries and Obi, I mean, take away politics. These are private people, multinationals out there. There's a lot of goodwill for Ghana. Still, and people still ask you, how did we get to this state in terms of crisis? And even in this crisis, you know, there are still people out there
who think we can still recover.
And they are kind of willing to help
us recover. Okay.
Irrespective of whichever party is in power, because they think that the peace our sub-region now. Ghana has become this beacon of hope that all these development partners and with their cables and behind the scenes,
they genuinely want us to do well.
Ghana so that other countries around now sebi democracy in pimnen obutuma catch on the say this way and there are even rumors that behind the scenes even US was actively lobbying to ensure that we get this program because Ghana you go to convince other West African countries that listen democracy this is what we will do to you everybody behind the scenes irrespective of whoever got us into this challenge they want to help, and that is why the fund program moved faster than before. Even when the board sat down to approve, the IMF MD chaired that board meeting. And this thing is not being trying to be politically correct, but if you engage it privately and all the rest, these are things that she says about Ghana, the optimism and the fact that she thinks that if you look at some of the indicators now, looking at how we sank so low, we are gradually getting onto that path that could see the country recover. In the Azibia fund for to convince other development partners to come on board to stabilize things and I mean, look at you're in a global economy. If the external partners want to punish you today, they can do it. If they want to support you to stabilize your economy, they can do it. One more was this are they willing to take the necessary sacrifices? Because it's another thing altogether.
It's your own problem.
Yes, Okadamasini.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's
when
really
she spoke to Bloomberg after the speech on other issues. And
at least from the data you have seen, based on indicators, anyone agree they would have to meet these indicators or these targets before the next release is made. From the data you've seen, are we on course?
And don't get it, that's why I want to put this in because as I remember that maybe said mission chief in the same question. As I Ghana and continue country walk around kaka review. When it comes to Benibeka there, Enyama washe to pass some of these judgments. And don't forget that IMF had this bad past when it comes to programs and all the rest. Until now, they are very, very careful. So what KK program or country be what commentary, what remarks and all the rest, and posterity will judge them. What can they do to ensure that we went into a country called Ghana, a year ABCD? These are the results. Listen, we can have the ideological differences and all the rest. When we look at the data, anytime we are under a fund program, it tells itself. It tells you that when it's about the political will, and even if you engage some government official, they'll tell you that, listen, now that there's a fund program, now we can whip everybody to line.
Of course.
So these comments were indeed made by her.
And I'm not surprised. Dr. Mark Hasibe Yeboah Kanda said or no, and the way the finance minister, he would perpetually lock us up with the fund.
Obi, I think that you can have the logical differences and the past pumps card and what has been the shocks. But again, I'm a full push there and I don't think that it's something
on
that
our own we
couldn't have done it.
Maybe we could have done, but we will not do it.
The political will.
Of course.
Why do you spend when you know that you don't have equal revenue to match it? Why are you signing road contracts when you know that you are getting X amount of revenue, but who expenditure no so?
A Bank of Ghana governor, after ENRA was the 6th of October, I think. That be ending the 6th October. And the governor's brief remarks at the concluding meeting, IMF first review, 6th October 2023, which is today. I say, Honorable Minister for Finance, the IMF mission chief, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just a one-pager. And I said, let me first begin by thanking the entire IMF team for the constructive engagement during the past 2 weeks on all issues bordering on fiscal policy, monetary policy, and structural reforms. Indeed, it has been a very comprehensive and collaborative work between the government side and the IMF, and this has made the 2 weeks mission very successful and fruitful. We have all established that the very decisive measures put in place by the government and the Bank of Ghana have started yielding results, signaling a faster than expected turnaround, which needs to be sustained as we reset the economy. More specifically, 1, non-food inflation has dropped significantly by 19 percentage points. Okay, that's non-food inflation. By 19 percentage points. Food inflation has also dropped by some 8%. Core inflation, which measures underlying inflation, is also decelerating at a fast pace. From the beginning of the year to date, the Bank of Ghana has built reserves of about $650 million instead of a programmed drawdown of $98 million. And this has been boosted by the innovative Gold for Reserves program. And as a result, we have seen relative stability in the exchange rate, depreciating by only 2.5% between February till date. It is therefore very important to sustain this strong performance and consolidate the gains we are seeing. Looking ahead, the Bank of Ghana will continue to maintain a tight monetary policy stance until it is confident that inflation is firmly anchored and aligned with the disinflation path agreed in the program. There will be challenges and difficulties as we work towards sustaining these gains, but we remain focused and committed to the reforms and prudent policies to ensure the full benefit of this program are achieved. Thank you. It was a rather very, very short remark from the Bank of Ghana governor. But the devil is in the detail. The specifics, no? Non-food inflation from, 19 percentage point, that's quite significant. Food inflation still 8 percentage drop. Core inflation, almost say a buffer at a fast pace. The beginning of the year, Bank of Ghana built reserves, which is quite critical.
Very critical.
$650 million. I don't know how long that would take us.
That wouldn't be that much. But Obi, I think that one critical thing when you have inflation as summer, so the inflation before more on each other. But the rate of increase is slow. You understand me? I think that we should also understand that we are still not out of the woods yet.
Of course.
But again, if you look at where we were, how we went so low, and where we are right now, there has been some improvement. Bank of Ghana also back there, ones who will believe that some of the actions that were taken might have stayed things a little bit when it comes to inflation. But some will also say that, Obi, after all the development at the macro level, inflation it should trickle down to hit people.
Sure.
Some will say that if the city hasn't been that stable, fuel prices now in our Kodo international market have been worse. It tells you that, yes, it matters, because if the city was still depreciating, things would have been worse right now. So, yes, the numbers are kind of stabilizing, but still, there are still more people out there, just like what the World Bank said, who have been moving to the poverty bracket because of some of these acts. And I asked the IMF mission chief today about the fact that what else is our government should be doing to ensure, because when you make the ABB today, fiscal consolidation, it comes with its own shocks for the economy, because you are not spending, you are cutting down on this. It being complain about a corner demonstrations because some of these programs will mean that you may have to scale back on some of these and so what is being done also to ensure that you minimize the most shocks you on for a while bound, because a program may try to correct the numbers, but it's about human lives. I can leap and fine when you leap. A school feeding program and free SHS. There are issues about reviewing that program because it is not well targeted. So the numbers improving, and it should have a way to impact on the pockets of people. Fuel prices recorded on all those things, and it takes money away. inflation is what kind of the biggest thief. It hit 100 cities 2 months ago. 100 cities in then as in Obutumayamo. There, even getting a square meal a day.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
And even more critical will be then, as the Bank of Ghana governor himself admit, we need to maintain the strong performance and consolidate the gains. Or quite a 9-day wonder problem, because for it to trickle down
and you see, let me bring you back at the macro level. Or the stability no gain for a long time
before then,
because before it trickles down into the city into city stability. Oh yeah, be to the flash in the pan, maybe a 1 month a pair. Then problem. So it should be able. I mean, even American dollar depreciates, and it's just blips. But we should see it being stretched for a long time. Then it comes back to again to your expenditure. If you mean now coordinate who that ban so. Cut down to name they still are spending record. Oh yeah, sometimes yes and kakra. Into no yes, you stability be on macro level, no, but it is yet to trickle down to the micro. If inflation, the rate of increase is slowing down, how is that impacting on prices of goods and services? Antineto, it be a Jew, another be a panuku abana, or yefu. This is so doing crana, or yes, is it the transportation? Then the fourth thing also comes in. As in a year yet to ensure that, listen, it's a fact. A lot of people out there are struggling.
Really struggling.
Out of them, I'm of the don't come on with GDP deflated. I'm no about in a year to ensure that one more wolf from one. The mini or trickle down to them to ensure that they feel the impact of the stability IMF can in their pocket, in their lives.
So most yen reserves are built. I don't know how much of import cover this would be able to do.
I think the last time about
$650 million.
No, I think Kenya now Buman do 2.5. That is 2.5 months of import cover or something. I don't know the final right now, but also no sometimes say 1 hour year them or bet the more currency where them one there will reserves you okay. There's the psychological effect because when you there so try to over bet on currency now, you are now in a strong position. And again, it's not about market ideological differences. It's not about sitting here defending a fund program. But where we had gotten to, the no fund option. Program is the best for us.
Dr. Ismail Yamson said, the Oniudi in Komo, when the finance minister had said, the young IMF, he told you there, we have no option. And 2 weeks later, the president ordered that we should
so
go.
This fund program, but past the first review again, it will trigger other inflows, remittances na nyamanaze. And kofa no feed there every week bia na nyamo concern into one. But actually, we bet the port activities. Latest data suggests there what triple even beyond pre-pandemic levels. One critical thing or play is about the currency stability. Because listen, across the FABA, Honolulu and now Australia, but another Holland. As I started 2 weeks ago, even a week to shipping where do put on. The currency has depreciated thrice or not 4 times. About the way now you are spending more than it didn't make sense there being important. So now that the currency is a little bit stable. It's a plan
for predictability.
Now, some kofu import back. Let's say they are not paying too much. One person costs no more. Those are some of the extra benefits a fund program is going to do for you because it is contributing to your currency stabilizing. The Mr. 600 DRB, World Bank, it will the secure be on government hold directly or Bank of Ghana or reserves or by $dollars not to. No, I'm a government citizens. Until again, you build the reserves for the psychological effect. They are in a strong position to defend the currency.
But the other thing which is interesting will be the governors slipping through this info. The reserves now are built to 650. It was boosted by the gold for reserves program.
And as well, it was interesting, but even though you had to go to Chrome and in the past, near and back your currency with gold, the pound today is so strong because you back your currency with actual gold.
Sure.
And that could also help to deal with this. 1 hour bet, traders our bet on currency into where the more programming. They've now been able to physically build reserves in gold and kasankasa.
This program is different from the gold for oil.
No, only different. He actually walk out to
go to
back the currency.
Okay.
Because every currency reserves are or physical second and our assets are. You can move around. That's why the dollar, the pound, and all the rest, because they've been able to back these currencies with the actual gold reserves and not just the dollar. It's in the mini so be obobwa me currency in the long term and so anopa eso mukakoto ejo another Brazil na currency ni ebia 11.2. If you are able to do chrome and 15 Ghana cedis, Obiara in the management, one over dollars, 1 over 6 cedis, and Oboko Kruma Casasa knows that $2 as one passing. Honestly, on board currency, Obian Pedon Ube Juma, one Obia import. So these are some of the extra benefits in your fund programmer. The big brother will carry that whip to force you to do as or there yet.
That's nice.
In your political will 9 yet. Sike Newa Enco Promise projects.
Sure.
Because inflows in them back. And sign road project with the contractor. Because Sike Newa Obitria. There should be value for money.
That's true.
Sikara Kwabana. Chemede Ahini Bini or those atom. How I better improve revenue, I better pick up revenue, you know, this thing is what it is a program is doing. And then poor others I will see that or a PC peg backed by an IMF.
And I think one thing is for sure, if we should get the 600 million second tranche in November, what it means that it will stabilize the system. The CD will not fluctuate like it did same time last year.
I think that we've seen the West in terms of maybe we've seen the West for what we experienced in the city. And don't forget that for the first time, so I stand to be educated. IMF Sikao Bay is not just going to the Bank of Ghana for international assets, a balance of payment to import, but there's a fraction of the money all could relate to the budget for programs. Into Ibiribo to help restructure the financial sector. In IMF, any restructuring BSA or the banking and finance, yen musika meza projects are then chokodo or budget ma wunyisikayen ECK Onko Bank of Ghana for hope. The one thing imports ABS here petrol and then Drunaza, but a Fonso Boko government almost a projects are all budgeting. World Bank so where the World Bank board are kade and so see more sika for projects, specific projects and the strict supervision even more. African Development Bank so say okay when your first review but Germany, Switzerland okay because now we know that there's a big brother checking you. We feel more comfortable to lend you money to restructure the energy sector so that the debt na ya build up na use power how can we help ECG be more efficient so that we how do you sell power and you cannot recover and you expect a development partner to bring you that money to run your economy?
It doesn't work that way.
It looks like we are when yes a lower middle income country. Intin yewo sika nchi yenye ni free no yenye ni bio. What's the economy so intino find more prudent means e be raise sika we economy nim. Onoma we see $3 million if you waste the gone. Let them want property rate
for the correct rate.
No, the foot discan the fair other development projects in our country nim. And these are some of the things that a program like this is just whipping us to line
to do.
George,
it's always a pleasure talking to you. Medase Papa, I think the insights have been very, very good. Yet here for Edase, right? Fantastic. George, we are fair or editor or Joy Business, and I'm obtaining Ekosiisen M'Ahiasem FM. Yeah, WhatsApp number no from one person with messages every 0548 443 523 0548 443 523.